Hey everyone, welcome back. So today is Tuesday, another kind of rough day in the markets, obviously with all that's going on in Russia and Ukraine. So that's obviously having a drag in the markets. Bitcoin has actually kind of held steady here, so we'll take a look at some good stories on Bitcoin. We have some adoption stories. We also have some other stories of, adoption, so we'll get into it. But we also have a continuation on the story that I did yesterday on the Bitmanu miner. It looks like some people got scammed, unfortunately, so we'll take a look at that as well. And then we'll take a look at as well on the minor that I should cover next. So you guys voted on that, so thank you for voting on that. We'll take a look at that, but as always, not financial advice, for entertainment only. Do your own research. Don't fall for scams. Spam posts get reported and deleted. I'm invested in the following companies and coins, as always. All right, so let's take a look at the miners here really quick, and then we'll get into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we'll get into the top stories of the day. So Argo is obviously down today 1% to 88 cents. Bitfarms was down 7.83% to $3.18, and they're below the 20-day moving average right now. CleanSpark was down 2% to $8.75. They are now below the 50-day moving average here on the charts. And Core Scientific was down $4 or 4.12%, down to $7.82. And they are way below the 20-day moving average, obviously, here on the chart. DigiHost was down 6.25% to $3. It is as well down way below its 20-day moving average here. DMG was down 7.56% to 43 cents. It is also way below the 20-day moving average. Everybody's below. Obviously, the impact of Bitcoin going down has an impact on the miners as well. So Hive was down 5% today to $1.87. Hut 8 was down 4.71% to $5.66. It is also way below the 20-day moving average. Iris was actually up today to up 4.58% to $14.16. Did not see any news or anything that would merit why it was up today, but it was up. Maybe it was just oversold here recently, and it is now above the 20-day moving average still. So it was battling with the 20-day moving average, and it stayed above it, which is good. And then Marathon was down 5.69% on the day to $22.53, and it is below the 20-day moving average as well. Mawson was actually up 4% roughly, up to $3.06, and we can see that Mawson has been selling off for almost the last 2 weeks here, so it just might have been buying the dip here opportunity for Mawson. And then we got Riot. Riot was down 6% to $15.85, and it is also below the 20-day moving average as well. All right, so let's take a look at Bitcoin here. We'll get into the story here in a little bit. But Bitcoin is obviously up right now. It is up a little bit to 38,128. The RSI still doesn't look all that appealing to me right now. I think we may still have a pullback here. We've obviously come pretty high up, but if we look at the RSI on the daily chart, we can see that last time we were at this peak here at 59.83, we were right around here, which we were higher of 39,000, so we're about 1,000 less than we were. So we're still having a downtrend in the price, but we're having pretty much flat in the RSI. So we'll see how that continues on. We got a story on possibly having the bottom in. We'll see. We'll take a look at that as well, see what that's all about. Let's take a look at Ethereum really quick. Ethereum is at 2,626 right now, kind of following suit for as Bitcoin is. And the RSI is also looking a little bit weak to me right now. We may have obviously a pullback here as we're seeing a downtrend on the price, but the RSI has been holding flat here on the 1-hour chart. So let's take a look at the Bitcoin network hash rate here. We'll reload this really quick. And we can see that we are still obviously hitting the all-time highs. We've come down from the all-time highs here recently. We're looking at the 7-day average. The raw values are obviously showing that we have come down to 171 million terahashes compared to our peak here of 248. So that's obviously a reduction in that. And it could be just some miners being shut down that are less profitable, some of the older ones possibly. That could be attributing to it. All right, so, and let's take a look at the miner revenue. Miner revenue has kind of bottomed out here at about 30 million or so. We've seen it touch a couple of times here, and we're back down to 30 million roughly on the miner revenue, which isn't good. We obviously want this going up because then the mining stocks are making a lot more money. So first of all, thank you so much for voting on the poll here. So we had basically 3 polls. The first 2 were to get to this final poll here. So Sphere 3D Annie obviously is the winner here, 36%. So I'll cover this one first, and followed by, it looks like Lexfolio. And then I'll do Bit Digital, Stronghold, and Greenidge towards the end. So these are the next 5 miners I'm going to cover. So again, thank you so much for voting on that. That helps me out tremendously. Lets me know what you guys are interested in. So we'll do that. And here is our first story. So analyst says Bitcoin bottom is in as BTC bounces back to 38,000. So Bitcoin price retests a major support resistance zone at 38,000 as technical analysts and traders suggested the bottom is in. So I've said this also that I didn't say the bottom is in, but I did say that our resistance is around the 37,500 mark or something like that. And we did bounce off of it here. If we look at the chart here on Bitcoin, we can see that we fell below it here. And then we've obviously come full circle a little bit in the last 10, 12 hours or so. But we'll see how this plays out if we can stay above it. We've obviously changed over to the new day on it. If we look at the daily chart, we can see that we are above it. So as long as we can stay above it, we might be in good shape, and it might actually be the bottom. Who knows? We'll have to monitor it, obviously, day by day, see how it goes. So here's what they're saying. So data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView shows that the price of BTC has traded in a range between 36,360 and 38,330 on February 22nd. As a swirl of positive and negative developments sent mixed signals to traders who base their trading activity on news headlines. And we'll talk about some of the news headlines here. So a retest of the 38,000 support retest zone. So cyclical nature of BTC price movements was touched upon by crypto analyst and pseudonymous Twitter user Rect Capital, who posted the following chart showing that Bitcoin is currently retesting the major support resistance level at 38. So we can see here, he circled it obviously at 38,485. We've seen it here back in July and then of last year as well, closer to, looks like February or so on the chart. Rect Capital said whenever BTC would break beyond the red 38,000 resistance area, it would pull back into this region for a retest attempt before further upside. Green circles show this. Retest is now in progress. So we'll see how this plays out going forward. And then we have Matthew Hyland also tweeted, Bitcoin has a week to avoid hitting its fourth straight red monthly candle for the first time since the 2018 bear market. The monthly must close above 38,500 to close green. So it's showing here's the 2018 bear market. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks of red candles on the weekly chart. And we have only 3 here right now. We've had 3 in the past here, 3 here, and then we had a green, came back down, and 2 here, and obviously had a nice rally here. So we'll see if we can maintain this green candle here going into this week. So no need to worry above 30,000. A call for calm was put out by crypto trader and pseudonymous Twitter user Johal Miles, who posted the following chart stating, I sound like a broken record here, but it's hard to believe how bearish people have become, and we haven't even broken or tested the 30,000. So we tested obviously the 30,000 here back in, this would be maybe April, February, or March, February, January, right around the time frame. Here in 2021, we tested it obviously in July, bounced off of it. We haven't come close to it yet. Hopefully we don't come close to it again, hopefully. But in a follow-up response to the tweet from Johal Miles, cryptocurrency analyst and pseudonymous Twitter user Plan C agreed with this viewpoint and made it the case for a bull market moving forward. Plan C said, basically, unless we break below 30,000, remain below 30,000 for weeks, I lean bullish, and the 28,000 to 30,000 level has acted as very strong support for a year now. It has. So we'll see how this plays out. I am still bullish on Bitcoin, obviously. Might be a good buying opportunity if you can. And then we got CryptoMax5 said, we could range, of course, and much like in 2021 testing, I'm guessing support resistance on numerous occasions, but there's a lot of data suggesting bottoms in. You do you like you always should, but I like to see fear in the market, and I am of a different bullish opinion. So there you go, some possibly good news here on Bitcoin from some of the analysts that are covering it. And then finally, next story is Brazil takes first step to regulate Bitcoin. So the Brazilian Senate Economic Affairs Committee, CAE, approved a bill on Tuesday to acknowledge and regulate the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency markets in the country, according to an official statement. So the bill represents an initial step for a bill that attempts to create ground rules for the day-to-day usage of Bitcoin in financial transactions and as an investment asset. So this is obviously good news. We have adoption happening, and adoption is what we want. More adoption obviously leads to more demand. Demand obviously leads to higher prices. So this is all great news. So something to be mindful of always. So the bill also provisions tax incentives for the Bitcoin mining industry, business and entities that acquire hardware and software for processing, mining, or preservation of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency would be exempt from import taxes as well as from some transaction taxes that affect local sales. However, only businesses that exclusively use renewable energy sources and are carbon neutral would be eligible for the tax incentive, which I think is a great thing. We obviously don't want more pollution from this, so this is a good thing in my opinion. I'm fine with that. Cryptocurrency service providers will only be able to operate in the country after explicit authorization by the federal government. So think of like Coinbase and some of the other exchanges out there, like obviously Coinbase, so you have Gemini, FXT, I think, is another one, and there's a bunch of other ones. So the bill is expected to head to the Senate floor next as per a recently submitted request for it to be processed simultaneously with a second Bitcoin-related bill. The proposal would then go to a vote in the House, the last step before President, I'm going to butcher his name, so I apologize, Jair Bolsonaro can consider signing it into law. So great news there, more adoption happening, which is what we want to see. And then another good story here is Sling TV to accept Bitcoin as payment. I don't use Sling TV, but this is obviously another step in that adoption. So streaming service provider Sling TV now accepts Bitcoin payments. Existing customers can prepay 1 to 6 months of service using Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And then new customers must pay for the first month using legacy payment methods and can use Bitcoin payments starting in the second month. So I'm not going to get into the whole details here, but obviously this is a good news for Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies that it's being allowed to be used on it. And finally, let's talk about the scam story here that I covered yesterday. So yesterday I talked about the Bitmanu miner, which red flags all over the place for that one. Luckily, some of you guys have seen the video for it, and hopefully I was able to help you guys not buy that and get scammed on it. But it seems like some people did get scammed on it, so we'll take a look at this right now. So I did basically a false order on it. I didn't send them any Bitcoin, don't worry. But I just wanted to see if I could find the Bitcoin address to take a look at it to see if anybody got scammed. Here's the Bitcoin address down here. And we can see here that as of today, let me refresh to see if anybody else has added to it. But I'm hoping that people are catching on that this is a scam. So they had 10 transactions today, totaling $42,753. So unfortunately, people did get scammed on it. I feel really bad for the people that did get scammed on it. The only thing that, there's not much you can do about it. Once you sent the coins into it, you can't do anything about it. You can't get the money back, unfortunately. And if by chance they do actually send these out and this isn't a scam, I would love to know how these things operate, because by everything that I've seen, it's just a red flag where these are a scam. And obviously they're made out with it. So basically, 42,000. So let's say the website cost them a couple of bucks. The press release, I don't know how much the press release cost, but they obviously put out a press release for it. Let's say that cost them, a couple $100, and then obviously the video, website, everything else cost them another couple $1,000. So they're still maybe in the profit by 35,000 on the scam, it looks like. And let's see if we reload this again. No, yep, 10 right now. So we can see the transactions here. So that's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin, is that you can see these kind of transactions happen, and you can follow along, see what is happening on the chain, and it's a great benefit to us that are in the blockchain systems and looking into these types of things and letting people know, be careful of these types of scams. They do exist, unfortunately. People will take advantage of you any way they can. So be mindful of that. Always check if something's being scammed. Do your due diligence on something. Don't just put your money down on it. Unfortunately, 10 people got basically taken advantage of. So that is a shame. So always be mindful of that, please. So that's it. That's all I have for you guys. Obviously, not a great day in the markets. Okay day for Bitcoin. Not a great day for the miners as well. But at least we didn't crash any further on Bitcoin. So I'm hopeful that we can maybe start having a little rally here. We'll see how that goes. And then the stories from Brazil and the other one about Sling TV accepting Bitcoin and other coins is a step in the right direction for acceptance, and obviously use cases where things are obviously going to help the price of Bitcoin go up in the long run. So I'm happy about that. That's great. So if you enjoyed the video, all I ask from you guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and notification bell. That's all I ask. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.